Hello again, guys, and welcome back to the auto watch service. I completely forgot what it was called there for a second. And we're going to be taking it apart. So this screw's already out because it kind of fell out earlier. Undo this one, put it in the screw container, undo this guy. Looks like we need sort of a different screwdriver this time around. Isn't it amazing, viewers? These probably haven't been undone since '64, basically. These have been left together, and no one has done anything with this. It's just been in there the whole time. So, I guess it did its, I don't know what you'd call it. This thing served its purpose. And hopefully with us doing this, it will continue to serve its purpose for a long time more. And there we are. There's our back plate real quick. And you can see, as we look at this, you can see all the old crap in this thing. I think the balance cup probably has a bunch jammed in there. Just on this plate alone, you can see all the old dirt and debris on this thing. Take our balance wheel off. Let's have a look at that. Looks in good shape. We've gotten to this one. Thankfully, we're servicing this before the oil. Well, I mean, it probably already is expired, but what happens is when the oil expires on these things, they just wear out. The oil isn't doing its job anymore, and you can't just dab a new oil onto this because you'll mix up some new and old oil, and that'll create this abrasive paste, and you'll wear out these little pivot holes. Thankfully, worn pivots are not common in these watches, at least as much as I've seen. They all seem to be pretty okay in that respect. Maybe because there's so little tension, I guess, just the mainspring and it's not doing anything else. If there was an alarm mechanism in here, maybe there'd be more tension and more, you know, forcing the gears one way and starting to dig into the brass a little more, who knows. But anyway, the worn pivots aren't common. Worn balance staff points are common, though. Thankfully, this one has not been worn out, and we are going to keep it that way, hopefully. And we'll get our pallet fork off. So yeah, this is the time where you want to document what goes where. As you can see, it's not that terribly complicated, viewers. Take this, take our pallet fork, take our first wheel off, take the escape wheel, this wheel here, the center wheel doesn't go anywhere. Take the fork, and take this out of here, this bit here. And this comes apart, and as you can see, that just fell out. And now, the watch is completely disassembled, and I don't bother getting the cannon pinions out of these things, because I don't really think there's much of a point to that, and I think I'll probably wreck it before that happens. So I'm just leaving it in there. There's no reason to go back there. And plus, there's holes here, at least on this one, there's holes here. So our cleaning solution should be able to get under this, get in between the cannon pinion here, and hopefully do some cleaning work. And also the balance cup. I don't think we're going to take this out either. Maybe we will. I guess we will, shouldn't we? We were going to take this out of here anyways. So I just grabbed my lineman's pliers here, so if I can pronounce the name, and just unscrew it. Like that. And what I've done here with this particular pair is I've filed the grips out of it. I don't think you can buy a pair of gripless linemen's, or maybe you can. I don't know. I've got another pair that I was using for this specific task back in 2018, you know, removing the balance cups and tightening the balance cups on these things. But these grips would totally mark this up and scratch it up really bad. So, yeah, that's where this custom pair came into play. It's really easy. You can see some of the grips are left. It doesn't matter, though. So yeah, that used to scratch it up really bad, and now we don't scratch it anymore. So that's great. Oh, there goes the cup. Yeah, you don't want to lose these things. So there's our watch, almost entirely disassembled. This side here is actually pretty clean, looking at it, but it's still dry either way. I'm gonna clean it. Then, here we go. This is a little dirtier. Is that oil on this thing? Did somebody... What the heck is that? I don't know what that is. It's some type of corrosion or something in there. We're gonna leave that alone. I don't think we're gonna be doing it. And yes, this is the motion work here. This drives the hands. So there you go, all those wheels turn. And when you're winding the watch, this wheel here disengages from this wheel here. So that's great. Okay, well anyway, that's, well, I don't know, we'll probably just leave that on there, that corrosion. I don't think it's the end of the world that that's on the surface of the gear. It's not gonna be harming anyone. And because I like to clean the hairspring and balance wheel individually from each other, we're gonna be taking this apart, but first we need to see where everything goes. So the cullet is on the balance staff, and the point, the hairspring cullet is not anywhere on the point of this. As you can see, when the staff starts to become like perfectly straight, that's where the cullet is positioned. So that's where we'll put it back onto. That's where we'll, sorry viewers, we'll put it back in the same position once we've got it together again. So now, how do we get this thing off? Well, first off, let's see where this thing is. So there's our offset bend. So it's right about here in this area. You can see the roller. I call it a roller jewel on more expensive pocket watches, although I don't think it's called a roller. Maybe it is, I don't know. And there's the impulse pin. And yeah, basically, more or less, we're going to put the hairspring back in this original position. If we don't, that's not actually the end of the world. We have this is my oiler here. I've got a nail glued to a screwdriver, and we can stick it in that slot when the watch is together and adjust the hairspring. So I'll show you that when that's going on. But anyway, that's where that all is. We're going to take our watch case opener, and we're going to slide it under the hairspring. You gotta be very careful with this. Just gently turn it and push it up. There we go, boys. So for cleaning this, I'm gonna use my classic ultrasonic cleaner method here. I enjoy the ultrasonics, let's just say that. This thing does a heck of a job. If you don't have an ultrasonic cleaner, then you don't have to get one. I'm just kind of throwing all the parts in simple green, running them in the ultrasonic, taking them out of the ultrasonic, doing any extra scrubbing at work or whatever I need to do, because the ultrasonic doesn't remove everything at once. So put it in here, put it in the ultrasonic, take it out, scrub it, and then rinse it in alcohol, because simple green contains water, and alcohol is able to, I don't know what the word would be, get rid of that, I guess. Just rinse it in here after. And that also does a little bit of additional cleaning too. And I've been using this method for a few years now. I think it's okay. One thing I've just completely forgot to do, viewers, was take the mainspring out of here. And we are gonna just push the center of this out. And viewers, for a watch that really was meant to be thrown, oh, well, I guess that just popped out of there. Okay. There's that. Yeah, that hooks around the mainspring there. As you can see, I'm using that with my screwdriver. Anyway, for a watch that was really meant to be thrown out, and yeah, I just take it out coil by coil. Gloves are handy for this as well. Oh yeah, my hands are getting greasy. Don't you love that? Oh, okay, I just let it go. Note to self, viewers, don't stop to put on gloves while you're doing it. Anyway, there's a tab there, and I know that was a bit fast and abrupt, but anyway, these springs are not very aggressive. So, yeah, this was meant to come apart for the most part, I think. I mean, the only thing that really doesn't come apart is some of these gears on here. That's okay. So anyway, we're gonna throw all this stuff in the simple green. And first, before we do that, we're gonna take all our smaller parts, and I've got a toothpick cup here. I'm going to fill that individually with simple green. And we're going to put that there. Yeah, that's what we're going to do with that. And we're going to take I think we're going to take all the smaller pieces. So this wheel here from the what the heck is it? The crown clutch setting mechanism, whatever you want to call it. The mainspring barrel center piece there. This piece from there. I don't know what some of the stuff's called. It's kind of just specific to this watch, so I don't know everything. What else can we clean? I don't know if the hairspring really needs anything. We'll just, I don't know, I'll throw it in there anyway. Because you never know what the heck's on these things. I'm gonna put that there. Stick the hairspring in there. It's kind of, well, it was floating on top there for a second. Throw our balance in. I don't know. I'm gonna throw it in the main container here. Throw the mainspring in here. The barrel in here. Both plates can go in here. The pallet fork I'm gonna put in there because that's kind of easy to lose. I think I have lost a pallet fork in the Simple Green solution before. I'll throw that in there. Throw all these other gears in here, and that's essentially it for that step of that. Oh yeah, and I also forgot the spring barrel cover and the quote-unquote great wheel there. So anyway, this is what I'm doing now. It's a bit of a quote-unquote ultrasonic cleaner hack. And if you've watched my videos before, you've seen me do this like 80,000 times now, but I'm going to explain it again just in case you don't know. Ultrasonic cleaners can actually work through plastic. You got all these bubbles here going, I don't know, you'd have to see it in action. But the vibrations and the bubbles or whatever, the waves, the ultrasonic waves, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm not very good at explaining this because I don't really know how this thing works all that much. But anyway, it gets through here and the bubbles and all that clean the all the gears and stuff like that. They get all the main grease and crap off. It's you know, it's a scrubbing motion, and all the stuff in that container there also get cleaned, so it's able to work through two containers. I don't know, viewers, if you don't believe me, just look up how these things work and you'll see. So we'll run this for about, oh, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think, and I'm not going to bother using the heater or anything like that. And yeah, you'll just see this thing, you'll see how this works. So you notice the water's still now. So everything's been through the ultrasonic cleaner, and I've just got it on this block of wood here, and it's all drying. And kind of what I'm doing is just going over stuff with toothpicks and just seeing, first of all, trying not to lose all the parts. I ended up losing track of the balance cup briefly, and I also lost track of the escape wheel briefly. This never even made it into the ultrasonic, and this never made it into the alcohol, so I just gave it a quick ram, you know. But it's just, moral of the story is really watch with these parts because they are small. It's not that I don't have replacements, but who wants to replace this stuff if you lose it? You know, it would be my fault if these were lost, and you know, keep the watch entirely original. And these later watches, they don't have stamped out wheels. And what do I mean by all that? The earlier watches here, I'm just in my parts drawer, have spoked wheels. They have spokes and wheels. Or at least most of them do anyway. So, you know, these are kind of, well, these are the original ones that went with this watch, and, you know, with a feature like that, granted that was just a cost-cutting thing, but still, you know, you want to keep this all original, or as original as you can keep it. In other news, viewers, as for cleaning the actual pivots on these things, I was just taking a piece of paper towel that was dipped in alcohol and sticking it in and just rubbing it like that and getting all the old oil off. And as for pegging these pivots here, I couldn't use a toothpick because these are actually too small, and really the goal of pegging, you just stick something in there and spin it around and get all the old crap off. And I think finally we've managed to, well, actually these things were fairly clean, at least in there. So I don't know, it seems more the outsides of the pivots that were more dirty, or yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, we used the oiler for the pegging of the pivots, and then we used the paper towel, and that was that. So we're going to leave this part here, and I'll start reassembling in the next one.